My inspiration for becoming an architect was my late father. I was very fortunate to have a role model, someone to look up to. I spent a lot of my younger years around the office, getting inspired by his late night sketches, seeing models being built. Obviously, at that age, you don't really understand the entire dynamics, but the creative process when आप उसको देखते हैं तो आपका भी दिल चाहता है कि आप स्केचिंग करें, ड्राइंग करें. मॉडल्स बनते थे, फिजिकल मॉडल्स बनते थे उस टाइम पे. सो आई वाज वेरी यंग. मैं भी घुस के उसमें वो मॉडल में काम शुरू हो जाता था. सो फॉर मी I was very blessed to have a role model like that, and my inspiration truly came from my father. This is one of those questions that you ask an architect, and they have to come up with the most desirable architectural piece across the world. For me, ever since I was much younger, there was something amazing about IMP's design of the Louvre. It was really uncomplicated. It was a triangle that sat in the middle of this historical context. And I always loved the simplicity and transparency of that project. There are many layers when you study it, but definitely one of those that always became a source of inspiration for me. I wouldn't say that there is one specific material. In fact, I would say for us particularly, exploration of various materials and what all you can do with them. The idea is if I get a material on face value, I want to see कि मैं उसके साथ मज़ीद और क्या कर सकता हूँ. How we can push the envelope with that material. Indigenous materials पाकिस्तान में बहुत हैं और उनके साथ exploration करने में बड़ा मज़ा आता है. But like I mentioned, जब architectural elements होते हैं तो I prefer to play with simplicity of the form, and so it's generally glass and what we can do by pushing the envelope with even a simple curtain wall. Interior के अंदर finishes, stone, concrete, terrazzo. So yeah, we really like to experiment with various. I'm not a dinosaur yet, but I'm somewhere in the middle. I used to personally explore rhino a lot, and I started my practice exploring rhino. As things have evolved, now we use a lot of max and a lot of rivet. But on a personal level, I definitely started my exploration. I don't want to quantify one project because you always feel like you're having a lot more fun. So if there is an architectural scale, there is a Mizan Tower that we're doing in Islamabad that has been a very exciting project for me. On the interior side, I feel like the restaurant Coco Chan was definitely an experience that I would always think of as one of my favorites. In my opinion, the most important aspect of an architectural project is to have a very strong conceptual thought process. So where your philosophy of that specific project drives from in my opinion, if you really think of the philosophy and really think through the narrative that you want to present, that holds strong for every aspect of the project. If the philosophy is the one that will drive the details, whether it be the door handle, whether it be the textures, whether it be the color palette, the choice of materials, the kind of lighting, for me, everything comes from that first philosophy that you pen down, that you think of, that this is the reason why I'm doing this project. That is the most important. Motivation and inspiration comes from many different things. It's the small triumphs. It's when you've gone through the struggle and then you end up at site and something's almost complete and it's just looking beautiful. You sit down on a chair and you look at it and say, this is why I went through all of that. It's that moment when you drive by a project. It's the small moments when you get to be a part of the space that you worked on that really become motivational. You cannot do anything without the struggles. It's impossible. If you are willing and if you want to achieve the best, you cannot do it without struggle. And our struggles are very different. Our struggles are trying to make sure the details are right, trying to make sure the materials are right. And if you have to come up with a change right then and there, then you need to make sure you do that. And we have, in our country, we have a very, I know we're off topic, but we have a really different set of other challenges. कैसे हो गए? नहीं हो सकता है तो हमने हो सकता बना ही. So how that part is the biggest challenge, and if you don't go through the struggles and actually work on it and resolve it, I don't think you'll be inspired to come back another way. It's painful, but that's why you signed up to be. That's why we signed up to be architects. I think it's the lack of skilled contractual services in this country. And the lack of being able to, there are wonderful contractors, don't get me wrong, they do some amazing work. But there is a way in which workmanship needs to be approved upon it. And we are coming from a whole journey. This industry is evolved, from the time that my father and our chairman, Mr. Bilgami, have been there. The evolution has been great. But there's a lot of further evolution that is required. And I think the training and the education to the contractors, the project managers, the client, that process is probably the area that takes the most time. In my opinion, it's not a particular city. It's an occupational hazard. When you go to any city, you will find a tree, you will find a planter edge detail, you will find a step detail, you will find a cove. You will get inspired by the various nuances. You will look sometimes at the calm or the zen in the eastern part of the world, or you'll find the finesse in some Scandinavian country where it's all clean and minimalist. Sometimes the awe of a big city and the way the downtowns completely reshape themselves. So I would like to say that I'm constantly inspired when I go in various places, and I'm looking for things to be inspired by. Sometimes it's a problem, because I'm with my family and we're all hoping that I'm taking pictures of them and I'm taking pictures of studying, I'm looking at various other things. But I think inspiration comes in all forms, and I would love to keep traveling and constantly keep getting inspired. Barcelona. When you see what Gaudi does in an architectural space, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing how he transports you, how he captures that moment of light. So absolutely, the Gaudi experience in Barcelona. Persistent. Remain persistent. You're going to keep finding challenges. You're going to keep finding that. You have to keep at it constantly. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Just keep